Matt, how did Jordan come out of his first team period, and is he on track to play Saturday?
Yeah, I thought he looked good. He said there's no pain, so we'll let it go through the week and we'll see.
Are you going to be calling plays on Saturday, or are you going to be doing other things? And if you're not calling plays, what are you kind of looking for? What are you watching for during this last preseason?
Yeah, we haven't totally decided on the exactly who's calling all the plays for the game, and we'll all have a little bit of input on that in terms of whether or not I start out calling it. We'll transition to somebody else. I just think it's good to get all these guys experience. So, but if I'm not calling it, it'll be much like in the past, or like last week, where you're just kind of observing everything. You're listening on special teams, on defense, and just trying to take note of and making sure the communication's on point.
I know you said we'll see with Jordan, but if he is able to play, would you like to see him get the entire game, or do you plan on Kurt getting some snaps in Buffalo?
Yeah, Kurt will definitely play. If Jordan plays, we're most likely looking at probably a half, maybe somewhat into the third quarter.
This will be, I guess, the last practice of the preseason today. And if you look at the sub hole in camp, what do you think you got out of it, and what do you think was kind of the best parts of this last, I guess it's been a month or so?
Well, there's so much that you get out of it every day. I think one of the most important things is just how you're coming together as a team and how you're gelling in that regard, and really all three phases. I think certainly we have two new systems on special teams and on defense, and just getting everybody acclimated that way. Really the goal of training camp is to get ready for week one and throughout the course of the season. So I think, I mean, you always feel optimistic, I think, going into week one, but until the season gets here, you never really know. There's so many variables that will play themselves out even from now to, week one, and then every week is just something new will come up. So, how do you weather the adversity that is going to strike every team in this league? And but I love that locker room. We got a bunch of not only really talented players, but I think pretty resilient players as well. So I know we're certainly optimistic, and we're excited for the season.
For a variety of reasons, Matt, you get a whole lot of your draft class last year. Do you feel a lot more comfortable that this year's class is going to be able to make an impact right out of the gate?
Oh, absolutely. I think you look at some of the guys that are right now positioning themselves for, if not starting roles, but for significant playing time. We absolutely 100% expect a lot of those guys to be major contributors on this football team this year.
With Devin Funchess no longer being an option, does that give you guys any more clarity, whether that's with who the number 6 spot could go to, or if you even want to carry 6?
Yeah, I think those are constant and ongoing discussions about how many we're going to keep at every position. So, it's unfortunate for Devin. Certainly he showed his talent, and we appreciate everything he did, his work ethic and what he brought out there. But it is a great competition. We have a lot of confidence in just that whole room in general. But that last spot, if we do choose to keep 6, it's going to be a fight right down to the finish.
Obviously, you had to go from 85 to 80 Tuesday, but a couple more moves yesterday that Brian could have waited until next week to make. The constant roster churn, bringing in new guys. A, how much can the new guys be expected to pick up and play Saturday? And B, what do you think of the philosophy of constantly doing something, churning the roster and overturning every stone?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's the best approach. Is you're always trying to find pieces that can come in and help you help contribute to having success. And certainly, we fully expect those 2 new guys to come in and play on Saturday. It's a little bit better than our situation last week with Hazelton coming in right before, basically 24 hours before the game. So those guys, I know our coaches are working hard with them to try to get them up to speed. Certainly, I think in the preseason, in general, you have a much more pared down menu, so it's not going to be overwhelming for them, and we'll limit, if either one of those guys gets into the game, we'll limit kind of our calls so they can go out there and execute.
What are you still looking for on the offensive line that you need to see on Saturday as those last few jobs are trying to get one?
Well, I think, it's competition all the way through, and that's what we said from the get-go. And, I think that there's been moments of really good play up front, and then there's been some moments of inconsistency. And certainly we're looking for guys that can consistently go out there and execute not only their assignment, but try to do it with a proper technique, because ultimately that'll lead to more long-term success.
Are you getting pretty close to naming
Royce a starter, feeling good about him being a starter with the reps and how he looked against the Jets?
Yeah, but Royce has done an outstanding job. I think that, you can certainly see the talent, and we just got to make sure that he continues to progress each and every day. I think with all those young rookies, there's definitely a learning curve, and you just want to make sure that he continues to understand some of the different nuances or looks that could potentially come up, so there's no hesitation in his play. But I wouldn't say we're going to name anybody a starter just quite yet.
I know Isaiah got kind of a late start, but what have you thought, just from McDuffie, what you've seen from him since he's gotten back out there for you?
He's a guy that flies around and goes after the football. I've been really impressed with him. I thought 2 days ago in practice, you could really see the speed and physicality. He does a really good job of playing with his hands, and he's aggressive. So just looking for him to fly around, attack the football, and make plays.
Let's go to Zoom. Sarah, go ahead.
Yep, two in here. We'll start with Aaron Nagler.
Coach, you've made it abundantly clear that the best five guys are going to play across the offensive line. Who is in the conversation? How many people are there in making that determination of your best five?
Well, I think it really comes down right now for us to the interior, the two guard spots, whether it's, whatever the combination may be of a Lucas Patrick, of a Royce Newman, of a John Runyon. I would say those are the most likely candidates to, fulfill those two spots.
Bill Lewis.
Hey, man, I want to stick on the O-line, too. Obviously, you're going to have a rookie starting center, maybe rookie starting right guard. Is there any trepidation of having maybe first-time starting left guard and really being green at the start of the season at those three spots?
Oh yeah, there's absolutely. That's always a concern. You got three young guys playing next to each other, so we're just trying to find that right combination. And whoever we put out there will definitely have a lot of preparation time together, being that the next 2 weeks will be focused on kind of the New Orleans Saints and what they present from a defensive structure and some of the things they do defensively. So I think we'll feel pretty good about what we're going to do going into the game.